we're talking free agency frenzy in the NBA, and the Dallas Mavericks have made a big splash. You know, they tend to be one of the elite teams in the West in the league. The last few years, since they've had Dirk.
Mr. Mark Cuban getting it done year after year.
Well, I mean, he is a billionaire after all. But we have to talk about their squad. Megan, DeAndre Jordan came over from the Clippers. Did you think that was going to happen?
I didn't think the Clippers were going to keep DeAndre because they're trash. Let's be real. They're one of those teams that they just need to be blown up, I think.
Absolutely,
I think there's
100%.
been too many, ever since what happened with Donald Sterling and with Doc trying to take ownership and frankly giving his son too many minutes, but that's a different topic. I think they just needed to start over, quite frankly. And they got rid of Matt Barnes. They got rid of a lot of some people will call toxic or old or whatever you want to use. Not probably right. I think they're a team that needs to start young and do this. And they tried everything they could to keep DeAndre, but they have nobody. Their tallest person is Blake Griffin.
I know.
He's 6'10".
I don't even think he's 6'10". I think that's a lie, by the way, when you see that guy.
Which means he's like 6'10" with a lot of like a big neck
like
gear
platform
unit.
shoes.
Yeah, and he's like standing, and
Well, the thing is, I think that whole team was not sustainable. But going back to the Mavs, the team DeAndre is on now.
Yeah, Phil. I mean, I wanted to bring this up because we brought this up 2 months ago. That photo of when Chris Paul hit that game-winning buzzer beater against the Clippers. Mm-hmm. DeAndre Jordan was just standing there like this. And everyone else was cheering. And the writing's on the wall.
Well, I was calling that right away. I was like, no, he doesn't look happy with his teammate there. And the thing is, this is a fun team. Like, I kind of liken this to the Steve Nash Suns teams. Teams that, during the regular season, really fun to watch. They'll produce a good amount of wins. Yeah. But at the same point, it's not sustainable for playoffs. Look, in the playoffs, it slows down. It goes half court. We saw Golden State having to completely change the way they play to keep that fast pace going, right? And I look at Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan. I'm like, when it slows down, I don't like that offense.
No, and they're also just not very. You can't depend on them. They're not a dependable.
You shouldn't have to
team.
start Matt Barnes, by the way.
No, you shouldn't. Nobody should have to. But that's once again something else. But it just wasn't.
They had to have had the worst 2-3 in the league. JJ Redick and Matt Barnes.
Okay, let's go to Dallas.
This is too depressing. Yeah.
Rick Carlisle's picked up DeAndre Jordan to be the anchor of his team, as well as Wesley Matthews.
I'm a big fan, and again, from Portland.
Let me lead it this way. I read a piece about Achilles tendon comebacks, and this is really interesting. 7 of the 18 guys in the league in the last 10 years who had major Achilles surgeries didn't come back to the NBA. And then the rest of the guys were 90%, 80%, 60% stature lower. The only guy who came back and was anywhere near himself again was Dominique Wilkins. Wesley Matthews, same ordeal.
I don't know if Wesley Matthews and Dominique Wilkins are in the same conversation. But
yeah, that's going to take some time to figure that out.
Look at Kobe, look at Chauncey Billups.
But it also happened to Kobe not when he was super young.
Yeah,
Wes is way younger.
Yeah.
He's also he's a gym rat. He seems to have really good work ethic.
Like
I'm not just saying because I want
And he's one of the best 3-and-D guys in the league, right?
He is. He plays great defense. He did really well when he was on Marquette. I'm a Marquette fan, so seeing him succeed is super. Him and Jimmy,
how did Utah let him go when the Blazers signed him for that deal?
That was one of the biggest coups they had.
Never understood that one.
It was also a little bit of a risk because they didn't know for sure if he was going to pan out to this extent, right?
Yeah, but it's weird. Dallas plays defense now.
Yeah.
I almost feel sacrilegious saying it, but
I mean.
Well, they're supposed to play defense.
They're supposed to play defense. We'll see if that happens.
Who's their starting point guard? Devin Harris at this point?
Well, I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
They don't have a point guard. And so a couple of names I'm throwing around there because there's not a lot left in free agency. Jeremy Lin, apparently they're trying to get But this is one I really suggest. This team has 3 point guards right now. Milwaukee has Tyler Ennis as the third string, and they have Michael Carter-Williams. Why not trade Greivas Vasquez, who has starting point guard experience and has a swag I think could play really well for Rick Carlisle?
Do they still have Kendall Marshall's contract too?
I don't even know.
Because he was injured. He was on the Bucks.
That's so many 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" pass first point guards.
Yeah.
They're stealing them all into one team.
Yeah.
But I mean, that team. If you look at it, but we've got to give our props to Chandler Parsons, by the way, as the world's best recruiter. I mean, he did it with Dwight Howard over in Houston. Then he just left for more money. I mean, you got to get yours.
Yeah.
And then to be able to bring DeAndre, I mean, it couldn't have been easy for DeAndre to leave Clipperland. I mean, as much as him and Paul might have had their issues, him and Blake are pretty close, right? And you're playing in LA, you know you're getting fed. But the weird part about this, apparently Dallas has promised him a larger role. do you really want to see DeAndre Jordan posting up?
No, not at all.
That just seems like a bad idea.
We know he doesn't have these skill sets. And what is he, 25, 26? He hasn't really developed.
Well, he's
them
defensive
yet.
player of the year. Just do that and somehow learn to shoot free throws. We've spoken about this ad nauseum on different shows. Like, if he learned to hit free throws, he'd be a top 2-3 center in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned he wants to be the man, and he's not going to be a situation where he can be the man. And Rick Carl does not take crap from anyone. Rondo knows this. Rondo's gone. So he's going to have to really shape up or ship out. I mean, and Dirk is just going to say that, So it's not the best situation for him.
No, but where does this put Dallas in your mind? I mean, because Portland obviously took a huge hit.
Huge hit. They're rebuilding.
OKC's
completely.
coming back. Pelicans are there. Phoenix, I don't think did enough because obviously they didn't land. Utah had the second best record after they traded Cantor.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how much money Cantor gets from OKC. But where do you see Dallas? If you had to rank a couple, are they in that world of kind of we'll say San Antonio, Golden State? I want to put OKC in that conversation, or is it kind of that second tier, maybe Houston, maybe the Pelicans? Where do you kind of see these guys after this?
I think I see them somewhere in the middle of both. I think if they get a really good point guard, or they get someone that can really ignite the offense, and if they actually play defense, then I can see them moving up. But right now, it just seems a little bit like a mishmash,
Yeah.
So I don't know. But DeAndre's from Texas too. There's a lot of this home state. Well, he's from Dallas. He's from Houston. He's playing in Dallas, but
what
he's from
kills me is that Rondo didn't work out because Rondo.
Really?
No, but
Really?
with all these shooters, right? You need someone to get them the ball. Exactly your point. And DeAndre Jordan's offense is so limited. You need a guy who can literally feed him 2 feet from the basket.
You do.
So if you're playing like your Devin Harris, Jameer Nelson types or shoot first, pass second, are they really gonna, get the most out of the Chandler Parsons, Dirk Nowitzki's and such on this team?
I don't know. Maybe that's why they need someone that can kind of not necessarily a 1A point guard, but someone that will facilitate.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that are around.
And I was actually just thinking Corey Joseph might be on the trade block.
There's that.
Oh,
and
yeah,
and potentially,
that's right.
depending if they want to play him the 2 or the 1, maybe George Hill in Indiana after just signing Monte Ellis. Maybe they give Ellis the reins. Probably a bad idea, but
I don't know. There's still a lot of question marks with Dallas. But
Yeah.
Like we said, we think they'll be middle of the pack in the West, and injuries happen so much. It's so hard to predict anything in this league. All I know is that DeAndre is going to have to learn a very new role with a very, disciplined coach. So we'll see what happens in Big D.
It
exactly.
could go either way, I think. I think he could either flourish and, really find his role, or...
I can't wait for that first game when they play the Clippers.
Oh, man. Hope they eviscerate them.
I just really want to see DeAndre challenge Blake at the rim.
Yeah. By the way, rest in peace, Lob City.
Oh yeah. Lob
Yeah,
City's
that's
over.
right.
And perhaps Blake Griffin. Let's see where this goes. I don't know. I'm a little less sold he sticks around.
That's true.
All right, guys. Well, that's been the Dallas Mavericks. We'll be right back with a little more NBA talk. You join us here, Hoops Lounge Radio, Green Room Radio, Maison Sociale.